Julius Caesar. His name alone conjures power, ambition, and tragedy. He was Rome's most celebrated general, a statesman who turned the Republic into his personal empire. But on the Ides of March, 44 years before the Common Era, Caesar was betrayed and butchered in the Roman Senate by a group of conspirators. Among them, one name echoed louder than the rest: Marcus Junius Brutus, the man Caesar reportedly loved as a son. So, what drove Brutus to commit one of history's most infamous betrayals? And was he truly the villain we believe him to be? By 44 before the Common Era, the Roman Republic was crumbling. For centuries, Rome had been governed by a delicate system of checks and balances: the Senate, consuls, and magistrates sharing power. But decades of civil war, corruption, and the rise of military strongmen had shaken this foundation. Caesar, the hero of the Gallic Wars, had crossed the Rubicon River in 49 before the Common Era with his army, a clear act of defiance. The Republic was no longer a republic. Caesar declared himself dictator for life. For his supporters, he was Rome's savior, a man who brought stability after chaos. For his enemies, he was a tyrant destroying Rome's democratic ideals. And here's where Brutus enters the stage. He wasn't just anyone. Brutus came from a line of Republican heroes. His ancestor, Lucius Junius Brutus, had helped overthrow Rome's last king and establish the Republic almost 5 centuries earlier. The name Brutus carried immense weight. Caesar, despite his dominance, was careful to embrace Brutus. While some ancient accounts romantically speculated that Caesar may have been Brutus's biological father, this claim lacks historical evidence. What is certain is that Caesar trusted him deeply. He pardoned Brutus after the Civil War and made him governor of Gaul. To Caesar, Brutus was family, loyal and dependable. But to Brutus, the ideals of the Republic were sacred. Rome's senators, many of whom despised Caesar's unchecked power, began to whisper of rebellion. Caesar's public image didn't help. He wore a purple toga, the color of kings. Statues of him appeared across the city, and coins bore his face, something only gods had been honored with before. Rumors swirled that Caesar intended to crown himself king. And to the Romans, this was an unforgivable sin. Rome had expelled kings, vowed never to return to monarchy. The whispers turned into a conspiracy, and Brutus, with his unshakable devotion to the Republic, became the perfect face of the rebellion. But here's the dilemma. Brutus and Caesar weren't just political rivals. They were bound by deep personal ties. This is what makes Brutus's betrayal so profound. Historians argue over his motivations. Did Brutus act out of pure patriotism, as Cicero, the famous orator, would later claim? Or was he swayed by peer pressure, as other senators, jealous of Caesar's power, surrounded him? Shakespeare famously had Caesar utter the words, "And you, Brutus," as he fell, emphasizing the shock of seeing a trusted ally turn against him. While these words are a dramatization, they encapsulate the betrayal's emotional weight. Brutus didn't just stab a dictator. He stabbed a man who believed in him. On March 15th, Caesar entered the Senate unguarded, refusing to heed warnings of plots against his life. The conspirators struck quickly. According to historical accounts, 23 stab wounds were counted on Caesar's body. Plutarch wrote that Brutus participated fully, even inviting Caesar to defend himself before delivering his own blow. With Caesar's death, the senators shouted, "Liberty is restored!" But the Roman people didn't cheer. Instead, they mourned. Caesar's funeral turned into chaos, as citizens, furious over his murder, rioted and burned homes. Brutus, once hailed as a hero, now faced the wrath of the public. In the end, Brutus's ideals couldn't save him. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, rallied support against the conspirators. Brutus and his co-conspirators were hunted down. At the Battle of Philippi in 42 before the Common Era, Brutus was defeated. Facing capture, he took his own life. His final words, as recorded by Plutarch, were, "O wretched virtue, you were but a name, and yet I worshipped you as real." Brutus died believing he'd failed his beloved republic. So, was Brutus a hero or a villain? In truth, he was both. He believed he was saving Rome, upholding its ideals and honoring his family's legacy. But in killing Caesar, he set in motion events that would forever end the Republic. Rome would never return to its old ways. Instead, it would become an empire under Caesar's adopted heir, Augustus. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Do you think Brutus was justified, or did he doom Rome with his actions? Let's discuss.